This is the morning show on TribLIVE Radio, brought to you by the Team Spanos Group of Raymond James, recently highlighted as the face of financial guidance in Pittsburgh. Guy Junker, Tim Benz here, and there's more space in the studio today, and I think that's in part because Ken Laird is not here, Guy, but
because it's a signature day for the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of space here. Like, what? Where are all your kids?
I mean, they're in school.
You got 3 kids. Why aren't they here? What kind of father are you?
I'm terrible.
What kind of a father doesn't bring their kid to work, all 3 of them, every day? Well, where are they? I mean, I'm looking under the tables here. They're not in the break room. Where are your kids? Dad of the year? Don't you know you have to bring your kid to work every day to be a good father? That's what makes you a family man. You can't be a family man like Adam LaRoche.
Pompiani was Dad of the Year. It's right there on his Twitter account.
Well, he kind of does bring one of his kids to work all the time whenever he goes to the arena.
Yeah, this is kind of bizarre to me.
Everybody knows there's only one person that can bring their kid to work all the time, and that's Wendy Bell. You know that, and I know that Wendy's the only person that can bring their kid to work, right?
It's a bizarre thing, this Adam LaRoche thing, I think. What's bizarre to me is not that that's his opinion and that's what he wants to do. It's the amount of support that he's getting from other athletes. And what walk of life can you take your kid to work every single day? I mean, I enjoyed those days at the various places I worked when we had take your daughter to work day, take your son to work day. I thought it was cool that they got to go and see what we did all day long, but this makes – you're going to walk away from a $13 million contract because of it?
Yeah, and the reason – and I was joking about this with Wendy bringing her kids to work is it happens. It happens. Every time I would work a holiday, Wendy had her kids there because somebody couldn't take care of them, right? This is not the situation with Adam LaRoche. Adam LaRoche is bringing his kid to work
in a uniform.
In a
White Sox uniform.
Like he's a player. Like he's a ball boy or something like that. And he's not a ball boy. He's a kid that's following his dad around. And the general manager of the team said, dial it back. Reel it in.
Yeah, he didn't say you can't have him around, but he just said you can't be there every single day.
Right, and it's not the kind of thing, because I've had to go to work with my dad. I'm sure you've had to bring your kid to work for something or another. You get stuck, the mom's in traffic. This is not that situation. He was there all the time, and all the team said is you can't bring him to work every day. Just space it out a little bit. And he said, no, I'd like to leave $13 million on the table. And people are heralding him like he's father of the year. And he's not father of the year for this. One thing I've learned doing these talk shows in various formats over time is that everybody loves to tell somebody else how to parent. Everybody loves to tell other people how to run their lives through their kids. Like, you should be a parent the same way I'm a parent, and how I run my kid's life is how you should run your kid's life. And this is a departure from that, in that people who don't have kids are acting like he's doing the right thing by wanting to be around his kids all the time. But shouldn't the kid be in school?
Well, and I liked Adam when he was here, but this is another sense to me of entitlement that professional athletes have. My biggest regrets in life have been that I missed so much of my kids growing up because I had to work. The business that we're in, you work on weekends, you work on holidays, and you work at night. It got to the point, my son was about 5 or 6 one Sunday night, Tim, and I'm putting him to bed, says his prayers, and he says, see you next weekend, Dad. He's 5 years old, and he said that, and that just was like a dagger because I did not see them Monday through Friday back when they were little and in grade school. It got to the point where I used to read them a bedtime story over the phone from KBL. They would get on the phone, and I had a book of bedtime. I would read it to them, and then they would go to bed because I literally would go Monday through Friday and not see them. By the time I got up in the morning, they'd be in school. I got home way late at night after they were in bed. That's life. That's the way it is. But I'm a Major League Baseball player. I make $13 million a year. That means my son's allowed to come with me everywhere. I mean, I didn't read that far into it. Did he go on the road trips with him too?
No, I think it was just
the home games. Yeah. So, I mean, and like I said, if the White Sox have said he can't come around at all, I might be upset about that. Spring training is a relaxed kind of time. All he said was, let's dial it back a little bit on this, and LaRoche probably just wants to avoid going 0 for 70 in April and May like he usually does.
Yeah, he had 207 with 12 homers and 44 RBI in 127 games in 2015. So people are saying that there might be a little bit of a conspiracy theory here, that they knew the one way to get him to retire was to say you can't bring your kid to the ballpark every day. And the White Sox are actually using the kid as a fulcrum to get him out.
Could it possibly be that his slow starts are related to the fact that he's not focused on what he's doing and his kid's around him all the time?
Maybe, but I would also say then It's not like in June when he normally gets hot, the kid is around, and that's what calms him down and makes him feel more at home because the kid's not going to school anyway a lot of the times in April and May. So I don't know if that's what connects the dots there. I don't know if that's the connecting thread, but I do know this, that if they wanted him out, I would have thought they would have brought this up before spring training began so they knew what his numbers were in December, right? Don't they go to LaRoche in December or January or February before they get down there in March and they're almost ready to break camp in a couple weeks? So
yeah,
I don't buy the conspiracy theory.
I wouldn't be
angle.
surprised. I mean, he's gotten support from some other players. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, that's the next thing I want to get
if some
to.
other guys in the clubhouse complained about it.
That's it.
Because I'll tell you what, Ken always kids about when Palomalu's kids were in the Steeler locker room and Harrison's kids were in the locker room and they're running. After they've lost a tough divisional game to Baltimore or Cincinnati, and those kids are running around in there. Now, I don't know. To me, some of the worst, I can remember still going, I talk about kids. I remember when I got fired from Fox Sports, and as stunned as I was because I never saw it coming, I went home, and I'm sitting in the living room, and my son comes in the door. He was in second grade. He goes, "What are you doing home?" And I said, "I got fired today." And he comes over and looks up at me, and he says, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I think I am." He goes, "Do you want to go outside and shoot some baskets?" I said, "Okay." We went out in the yard, and it made the day right. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe if you lose a tough game and your kid's in the locker room makes the day right, but I know when that place was quiet and reporters were going in there and people were trying to do those jobs and those kids are bouncing around off the wall, it occurred to me that I thought it wasn't professional.
Yeah, there's nothing easier to say #FamilyFirst on Twitter, put it out there, and have people give you applause for it. This is another one of these things where it's easy to put out on Twitter. It's an easy point to rally around to say, I'm putting my family first. Because really, who amongst us says, you know what I don't like? It's family. I hate family. No one's going to say that.
Right.